On today's episode, we're talking about some industry news. Welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Shane Chapman, Wade Laurent here from, I was going to say sunny Regina. It is sure not sunny Regina out there today.
Pouring today.
It's a wet Regina out there.
Yeah.
So there'll be a certain number of our audience that'll appreciate that comment. Today we're going to try something a little bit different today. We're just going to talk about the industry news because in this industry, there's exciting news that happens every day.
Right? I haven't seen a single thing on ABC News about any.
Not today.
It should be.
Yeah. So anyways, Trex fired their CEO. Let's talk. No, not that exciting. Not that exciting.
Yeah.
No, we just thought we'd go around and kind of say, like, you know what? For who's listening to this podcast, a lot of them are in the industry. So they'd be interested in hearing a little bit about the industry news. And maybe we hear about things that maybe the average contractor doesn't because we live in it. We breathe in it every day. Or
they shop at box stores and the guys at the box stores don't have a clue what's going on.
Right. Yeah. So there's that. Might happen too. Industry news straight out of China.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to it, I guess.
Pitter patter.
No points.
That one's for CM Boost. That one. Pitter patter.
Pitter patter.
He's latched onto the letter Kenny references. It's so funny.
If you're listening to the podcast in your vehicle, great, good for you. Don't watch us on YouTube. But if you're in front of a computer or your phone, and like if you're trying your best to ignore your wife and kids at night on your phone, then,
or they're sleeping, you could also do that.
Oh, right, yeah, they could just be. Then you could also check out this podcast on YouTube. We have the video version of the podcast up on YouTube. I've been saying this for 3 weeks yet. Haven't posted a single one up there yet.
Killing it.
But by the time they listen to this, there'll be a few of them they can catch up on. Yeah. So, Trex, what the hell's going on with Trex this year?
Can't get anything done right now.
Little bit of an issue for Trex this year. I'm sure that most people in the industry by now are aware of and familiar with the problems that Trex has been having getting product out this year. But because we haven't done one of these industry news ones yet, this is the first chance we've had to talk about it on the podcast. So at the start of the year, we got this update. We got this memo that came from our distributor. And it was basically like, heads up, what you have on your order for Trex when you finally get it, that's all you're going to have for a while. And I don't know when that came, like April? March probably, and it basically said like your early buy, your winter booking is going to come to you at some point here soon, but once you get that, reorders and whatnot, it's going to be pretty slim pickings until middle of June. That was the message we got, and then as things approached May, we got an update said like, you know what, middle of June's probably not going to happen either, like maybe July, and then that just got left there.
Yeah, I think that the new profile is starting to appear, right? So
that's what
obviously it's happening, right? So.
That's what the first memo was that we got, right? We got this memo. No, that's not. We didn't get it. We heard about a memo and then we dug into it and found the memo.
Yeah, was it called the dark web? You were on the dark.
Dark web, yeah.
You were on the dark web, cruising around, trying to sell a kidney.
Yeah, I did. By the way, got me through spring.
Good news.
Yeah. But we got this memo that said, heads up, this new Trex Enhance profile that was brand new this year, the Trex Enhance Basics and Naturals, new profile from Trex in North America, the scallop profile. Heads up, that profile is going to change at some point. It's going to be slightly less scalloped. Like
scallopy.
As many scallops as before, but not as deep.
Correct.
And it was like, this is in an effort to speed up production because stuff's been flying off the shelves. Right. So that was what the memo said.
The memo said, yeah, I don't know that I fully bought it.
Yeah, the memo claimed that.
Well, so there's probably some truth to it. They couldn't extrude it as fast as they wanted to because there was not as much material in there. So it was coming off the line. It was kind of drooping or sagging. And
yeah, they had to push it out a little bit slower.
Slower because there wasn't as much material at the top half of it. So they said, we can increase material or reduce the scallops, however you want to call that. And then by doing that, we can increase the extrusion speed and it should be good.
Yeah.
So
the other part of that memo they said was the reason we're doing this, the reason we're changing the scallops is not for any sort of quality issue. It's because we need to be able to extrude this stuff faster. And by having more material, we can push it out faster. And
because it's flying off the shelves.
And combined with that is the problem that They increased the price of their Transcend line this year, which they gave everybody a heads up on. Like, heads up, Transcend Tropicals is going to go up 6%. Heads up, Transcend Solid Color is going to go up 11%. They're going to be the same price now. But if you want to get in now on an early buy, you'll get last year's pricing before things go up. And they claim that as a result of that offer, they got this influx of Transcend orders at the same time and trying to push out a new product line, 2 new product lines. And so they got backlogged and they couldn't catch up fast enough. And so it ran into some logistic issues with getting product out onto market. So let's increase or decrease the amount of scalloping those boards so we can push it a little bit faster. That's what the memo was all about. And of course, there was a ton of speculation. Is that the real issue or is it a quality issue? Who knows? But that's the story from Trex. And it turned then that played out. That happened. We specifically got our early buy truck pretty early. I think we were the first ones in Saskatchewan to land a truck of the new Trex Enhanced line.
Original. There's some bigger players.
For sure. Yeah. But we were told that one landed at us first, who knows, right? It was within days of each other anyway.
Yep.
But we got it. We sold through, and it wasn't until recently we started to run out of things, and we started to buy up everything that the distributor had, and now the distributor's running low, and we're starting to see people want to buy this product and they can't because we can't get it.
Clamshell Basic. If anybody is listening to this that doesn't make a dark gray board, Clamshell Basics is the hardest color to get right now. So
yeah, they're a little bit thin.
Yeah.
So Trex was feverishly trying to produce all this material out of their 2 plants that they have. And then to combat this, I guess they've recently announced that they're going to open up a 3rd plant. It's not going to help anything right now, but it's going to
But by 2020,
it sounds like they're still planning on being a pretty big player in the next couple of years.
Haven't mailed it in, so that's good.
So they have announced that they're going to open up a new facility in Winchester, Virginia, which
have you seen the old facility in Winchester?
Never. Never seen any of their facilities.
If anybody else has seen it, maybe send me a picture. Just shoot me a DM of what the outside of that place even looks like. That'd be great.
And in addition to opening up the new 3rd facility, they're also going to expand the number of production lines at their Fernley, Nevada facility as well. So Trex is ramping up to keep pushing out more and more decking.
Yeah,
they're planning on being,
and that's good because
continuing to lead the pack.
It worked, right? They wanted to bring out a board that was a better entry level price to compete with either wood costs or Chinese boards or whatever the reason was for increasing the less expensive board, and it worked. Obviously people are trying to buy this and they had selling lots of it. Yeah, they had to do something.
Had they not put out that enhanced line this year, they would have got throttled. Not run out of business, but they would have lost some market share because TimberTech came out with a couple new low cost boards this year. Fibron dropped the pricing, and maybe Fibron did this reactionary to what Trex did. So maybe that wouldn't have happened, but regardless, TimberTech would have stepped in with edge and took some market share for sure.
Certainly.
By coming out with the lowest cost, good quality brand composite, that would have happened. So Trex had to make this move. Yep. We've still never actually even seen 4-inch take-home samples of the new lines because they can't get enough product out for stock, let alone getting their sample boards and whatnot pushed out. So
yeah,
it's been a little bit of a rough go for Trex at the start of the year this year. The good news is we were at our distributor the other day and they're telling us things are starting to show up. We're starting to get some product back in. We've got some of the enhanced natural stuff back on the ground. So if you need that, it's starting to happen. Some of the Transcend lines still tough to come across in this area of the world, but things are starting to happen.
Yeah, and we saw a profile of the new scallop board, right? The new design on the scallop looks great. I have a lot more confidence in the second scallop than It
gives you a little bit more confidence looking at it.
Yep.
That's for sure. Yep. Yeah. Not that we haven't seen any problems with the original deeper scallop ourselves personally. Haven't seen any issues with it. We sold quite a bit of it so far. There's been no issues with it, but the new one, just when I remember,
we're not even at 6 months of that product out in the market.
100%.
So,
but I know when we saw the scallop, the first generation of the scallop boards, it was kind of holy smokes, those are really deep. There's not a lot of material left there. Yeah. And you're kind of no actual problems that we've seen. But the new profile is that I feel a little bit better about how that looks. Looks a little bit stronger. Looks good. So
and it was whenever you do a new line or a new profile or a new new design, there's struggles and complications with that, right?
Oh, 100%.
I tell everybody when I'm selling the basic line or the enhanced, the new enhanced line, basics or natural, I tell everybody, I own a 2014 Chevy truck. That was a new year for them. They had a new model, like everything about it was new. And there was a couple recalls. That's how it happens.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Nothing ever goes smoothly out the gate for anything, especially when you're launching something on that massive a scale. So, like I said, it's been great. The product's been fine.
Yep.
So,
other than you can't get it.
And there's like,
now they're going to build plants. They'll put 2 or 3 plants up.
I was just going to say, who else could be like, we're having trouble keeping it up. We'll just open another plant. So I think it's not supposed to be online for a couple of years yet, but regardless, they're trying to get ahead of this. They're trying to. Yeah.
It'd be great. So there's Trex.
Enough talk about Trex. Still a great product. Just in case anyone's listening, it's like, are they crapping on us right now? We're not crapping on them. We're just nope. It's just the industry news.
Here's the news.
Just the industry news. Some more industry news. Deckorators.
People
starting.
Like this.
Yeah, they're liking
People like this stuff. Yep.
It's slowly getting out there, right? Like Deckorators as a brand has been around for a lot of years, both in decking and for even longer as decking accessories.
Know what that number is.
How long they've been around?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but it's like decades that they've been around. But they've produced other brands of decking like Latitudes and whatnot, and just like the Deckorators labeled decking's only been around for a few years, but the company itself has been around forever, and they've been making deck accessories for longer than that, like longer than forever. So,
which is a really long time,
like longer than forever, even measurable, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's happened recently is that they launched. So they had the Vault line of decking. They've had their line of decking. It's not a wood plastic composite. So traditional composites are generally wood plastic composite. That's the filler. They've had their Vault line that didn't use wood as a filler. It was mineral dust or stone dust or some sort of inorganic filler. And then this year they launched their Voyage line, and it's really good. Like
I like it. I like it a lot.
The looks of it is fantastic. The traction on it is fantastic.
Second to none.
The expansion and contraction is more than they say it is, but less than what the other kind of industry standard is. Like they keep telling you, like, doesn't expand and contract. Not entirely true. It does. It just does less so than your traditional composite or PVC, which is a great talking point anyway. Like, don't say it doesn't, because it does, but it's really good.
I don't know that they say it doesn't. Because you get like...
I don't know what their formal marketing says, but I know that there's people there who say, like, it doesn't expand and contract.
Yeah.
You can miter it. Okay, kind of.
But an 1/8 of an inch on 20 feet is amazing. That's like nothing. That's
yes,
60
and that's
either end of
basically what it is,
so
right?
Do that.
So
miter that.
Because you're like, I guess for context, for people listening, on a 20-foot unfastened traditional wood plastic composite board, unfastened, 80-degree Fahrenheit temperature swing, so basically like summer to winter, that'll expand and contract up to 1/4 inch if it's not being held down by anything. A PVC board will expand and contract up to 1/2 inch unfastened. Deckorators is claiming theirs is less than 1/8 of an inch. So it's good. Like, it's quite good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's really good, guys.
So every year there's new products that come out, or even old products with new marketing, that claim that their product is so amazing for all these reasons, and usually half of them are only semi-accurate. Mm-hmm. But the reason we're even talking about Deckorators is not because Deckorators is saying, hey, we've got this new Voyage line that's great. It's because actual real contractors are using it and saying it's great. Like, that's the newsworthy story here.
Yeah. So the one that just recently I heard that I thought was probably the sort of the best news about this Deckorators. So for me, it's the Voyage line that I like the most, right? I'm not super keen on the other ones, but this, like the enhanced traction and the coloring and all that stuff, I like a lot of the Voyage line.
Yeah.
There was a contractor in Edmonton, Terra Hill.
Sure, yeah.
Is this right?
Yep.
Johnny Deegs, Terra Hill. He was talking about it, and he was saying that one of the reasons he likes this Voyage line is it's actually cooler to the touch when he picks it up, right? And he was saying, like, it's light, it has great traction, it doesn't move around. And honestly, when I was carrying it around, it was, 30 degrees Celsius out, and the board was cooler to the touch. So, perfect.
So I haven't had a chance. We said we were talking about this other day off camera, and we were saying, like, we need to test this for ourselves. Because you get a lot of claims from companies that like, we've got cool deck technology and cool pigment technology and all sorts of stuff. They're never cool. But this, again, to your point, was coming from a contractor, it's not a marketing line. It was like an actual real contractor, and a good one, who's saying like, guys, I think like to me, when I pick it up, it feels like it's not as hot as other stuff that I've used. So we've been meaning to test this because it's not something Deckorators has even said as far as I know, but if it's at all true, they should be talking about it. So we're going to test that. We're going to check that.
Maybe they're not talking about it because they don't want to be the guys being like, we got the cool deck technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's too much good stuff about our boards. We're just going to pick the top 3. Anyway, we're going to test that and find out and let you guys know. So if you're not following us on Instagram already, do that because we'll
news.
Post it there. Yeah, anyways, bottom line is it seems to be the only complaint with it from anybody really is like, it's a bit of a bee to cut. It's like, it's tough cutting it, right?
It piles up on the back of your saw. We had that when we did the display here for the home show. Yeah. So you cut it, you cut through and the material kind of gums up on the back of the saw.
Yeah, it's not a super clean cut because it just, it gums up. Ugh. But it's whatever, minor. Like if everything else is as good as it says, it's a minor thing to have to deal with. And they just say, like, most guys that are using it say just use a blade with less teeth. Like the less heat you generate, the better. So the more material you're moving per rotation of the saw blade, the better. So
one of those like
use a framing blade.
Those fiber cement blades that have 4 teeth.
Yeah.
It's like a 10-inch blade with 4 teeth on. It's like whack, whack, whack.
Yeah. Just score it and snap it over your knee. We should, there's a challenge for Instagram. Try to score this stuff and snap it over your knee because you can't break it apparently. It's unbreakable according to their videos. And they hit that thing with this decking with sledgehammer on 16-inch centers, whatever it is. And it is nearly impossible to break. We tried to tear one apart. But down the middle.
Fibrous.
It's like wood. It's harder to pull apart. It's harder to pull apart than wood is.
Plywood, yeah.
But it looks the same in the middle. Anyway, enough with these guys. Right? They've got enough news headlines because they're making good stuff, so we don't need to talk about that anymore.
Good work.
One of the things we've been searching for the last few years, because we get asked about it all the time, people come in, they're like, I want some privacy on my deck. And we're like, okay.
What are people doing on their decks, I wonder?
That they need all this privacy?
Yeah, it's that's the top concern. I want it to be not hot and I need privacy.
Yeah. My neighbors are watching me. Well, what are you doing?
Nothing. Just barbecuing.
I don't want them to see my wiener. What? My wiener's
hot dog.
Anyway, so people like privacy.
Sausage.
The real reason is because inner city houses now are built so tight and such small lots, and you're in your neighbor's backyard almost when you go out in your backyard. So people want some privacy from their neighbors. So they're always looking for some sort of privacy option. And out of the box, the only real out of the box option is privacy wall glass from different railing manufacturers. They'll make taller, 6 foot tall, 5 foot tall privacy glass options. And you use a textured glass or tinted glass of some sort, give yourself some privacy. But a lot of people are like, I don't want any glass. I don't want to be Windexing anything. I don't want my kids' fingerprints all over it. I don't want my dog on it. I don't want birds flying into it, whatever. I just don't want glass. And it's been like, okay, well then you're pretty much into custom solution territory. You can do a composite privacy wall if you want, but you got to kind of rig something up. But there's a few of these companies, but the first one to kind of go mainstream with this is out of Edmonton, Hideaway Screens. Yeah. So they're good.
And the guy making them is a beauty.
Good dude. Dick Van Winkle.
No.
Oh, Richard Van Weeren. Sorry. It was close.
We're Facebook friends now.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not. I don't know that he accepted my friend request. I just put it in today, but...
So these
Hideaway screens,
aluminum or steel privacy screens aren't anything new. Metal fabricators have been doing these inside for a lot of years, and people have been using them as a more custom solution on a deck for a lot of years. But Hideaway Screens decided to kind of standardize it a bit. Let's make a standard size, some stock colors, some stock patterns, and let's put these things into a retail store, see how it goes. And then this year they put it into distribution across Canada.
Yeah, good
and
call.
So now they're getting the scale. They're getting into market in a mass adoption kind of way.
So who are the other ones? I believe Nouveau Iron had some, right?
Did they? Maybe,
Home Hardware was selling them.
Okay.
With Nouveau Iron. And then we had, obviously Remnant Steel out of Saskatoon. She was doing some for us. Naomi.
Yeah, and like Deck Store in Ontario has had their Solera panels for a while, which is the same kind of thing. You've had the ones out of Australia too, and the name is escaping right now. Boy, oh boy, this happened a couple weeks ago, and I eventually thought of it. But it's like it's not steel or aluminum; it's hardwood.
Yeah, and we couldn't get them here because it was hard to get them across the border.
Importing them because they were like exotic hardwood compressed sawdust, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what they're called.
The name of it was based on the type of wood too, right? Wasn't it?
I don't remember. But anyway, Hideaway, Hideaway screens are everywhere now. If you're on Instagram, you're seeing everybody's posting pictures of Hideaway screens. He's gotten these things on to like HGTV, which is going to help with a little bit of exposure. You know, we've sold quite a few of them this year already. It's our first year with them. They're great. Like I don't know. There's not much to say. They're awesome. They are
more than glass, right? So when you're talking about it, the price point's a little bit higher than glass. But 1/8-inch steel, powder coated aluminum, even if it does scratch you don't have to worry about the rust. That's a huge advantage.
Yep.
You're looking for a low maintenance or a no maintenance product. This is the one. This is good. It's
and looks fantastic mixed in with other materials too. You've seen a lot of guys on Instagram doing like cedar privacy walls with these screens as a kind of an accent to that, and it looks great that way. So if you haven't seen these things yet, like Instagram's probably your best bet to find them. Just search for Hideaway screens.
Yep.
Or go to our website. Shameless plug right now, ultimatedeckshop.com. We sell these things. It's on the main page right now. You can see exactly what they look like, and we ship them for free. So if you're going to buy them from us.
Might as well.
Right?
That's where you heard about them.
That's where you heard about it. So, joist tape has gone mainstream.
Yep.
So joist tape's been out for years and years and years. This is the next newsworthy item. Joist tape's been out in a variety of ways from different companies like Vicor and Resisto with their joist guard and different things. People have used blue skin in the past or rolls of tar paper, whatever. People have been taping their decks with all sorts of products. Then we had there's the Imus caps and there's a variety of different ones. G-tape was the first one that probably came in and gained some sort of mass following through Instagram again.
That's Marty's fault.
There.
He was on Instagram all the time.
Yep. Right? He definitely he was a big reason why G-tape got as big as it did.
Have you worked with anybody as passionate as that guy?
Just you.
Yeah. That ran out though, right?
Yeah. In year one, the first 3 months, you were killing it.
I was as passionate as Marty was.
But anyway, so G-tape was kind of the first. I think G-tape, what am I trying to say here? The hysteria, the Instagram hysteria that G-tape caused. Everybody wanted to use G-tape because they saw somebody else using it. It was an influencer product.
Yep.
And because of that, who comes calling? Well, all the big guys. All the now TimberTech has their joist tape, and Trex has their joist tape.
Yep.
And Fibron, I'm sure, is working on a joist tape.
If you are, stop. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Stop. So now
put it into a dark gray board instead.
Yeah. Now we've got these joist tapes popping up everywhere with everybody's different names on them. There's probably 20 of them out there that you can use. I like G-tape.
I like G-tape quite a bit. It just works so much better than all the other stuff. It sticks better. It's thinner.
To be fair, I haven't had much experience with the new ones that have come out since. Like, I know for a fact that G-tape is significantly better than like joist guard and using blue skin and stuff like that. It just sticks at any temperature. It's thinner. It doesn't require any primer. It unsticks from itself. Like, you can reposition it. There's no complaints from G-tape really.
Scrapless, tears by hand.
Yeah, the new ones from TimberTech and Trex, they're still butyl-based, asphalt-based tapes, these new ones, but they're improved upon though. Like, my understanding, like, we've seen the TimberTech tape at I think it was at IBS.
Yep.
And they had a comparison of a bunch of different tapes, including theirs, and G-tape is on there, unlabeled, but it was there.
Yep.
And the only knock they found against G-tape is that it can tear, like it's thinner, so it could tear, and theirs doesn't tear.
Sliding deck boards across the top of it.
Yeah,
right?
That was I think that was the use case.
The deck, and then the decking slid on G-tape, you'd wear through it. So.
Yeah, I think that was it. So
don't be
from what I hear, people that are using it, is it branded under TimberTech or branded under? Well, it would be branded under TimberTech, not AZEK, I think. For now,
what's
today.
the company name?
So, from what I've heard, the people who use it are liking it, whether they're what they're comparing it against, if they've never used a tape before, or if they've used, I don't know what they're comparing it to, right? But it seems like it's good. And Trex tape, I'm sure, is similar and good. Trex tape is it's their rain escape tape in different dimensions.
Yeah.
Essentially. So if you've used it before, it's fine if the temperature's right.
It's really
doesn't
thick, though.
stick really well. It's a little bit thick. I don't know if the adhesives are a little bit less on the joist tape. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that, but maybe it's not.
Yep.
Anyway, joist tape's gone mainstream because all of the big players in the decking industry are now getting into it, and so that makes it go mainstream.
Some old
right?
guys, like really old guys here that shop, contractors 65, 70 years old, still building decks, and they're talking about how they used to put down tar paper over their beams, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've always some guys have always done it.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyways, it's good. I think it's a good practice, especially because the products they have such a lifespan on the product now, right? You have a 50-year warranty on some boards. So if your composite deck board or your PVC deck board has a lifetime warranty or a 50-year warranty on it, you should be putting in an effort to save your frame.
Yes.
There's no point in letting your frame rot out in 17 years.
So I feel like maybe we're taking our audience for granted here and assuming that they know what we're even talking about. I just realized this as you were talking, like, what if somebody has no idea what a joist tape is? Maybe we should explain this. So what we're referring to here is products that...
maybe you want to make it quick because some of the guys will know, though.
Right. There's these... So the problem that we're trying to solve here is premature rot on your lumber, on your wood frame decks when you're using composite decking, essentially, because what you're doing is you're putting a plastic board that's not going to rot away on top of a wood frame, and so any moisture that gets trapped between the boards, the wood's taking it all. Your framing is absorbing all of it, and you've got this plastic saran wrap top on top of it that doesn't allow it to dry out fast enough. So the theory is the wood stays wetter longer and therefore begins to rot faster. The other applications is if you're going to flat block something where water is naturally going to lie and not dry out super fast, or a multi-ply beam, like when you're putting 2 or 3 plies of lumber together, water gets in between the plies, or dirt and stuff gets in there, it doesn't dry out, and it rots faster. So the idea is if you put a thin membrane to create a barrier so that the water can't get into those places in the first place, then it'll keep rot from happening.
Yeah, it'll help prolong it, right?
Yep. And it's cheap. Most of these joist tapes, they range from on installed, probably like the lower quality, cheaper tapes likely are like 30 cents a square foot it would cost to do a deck, up to 50 cents a square foot to tape all your joists. So it's not a big commitment when you're already spending, you're putting a composite deck board on your deck that costs anywhere from, like on the very low end, $6 a square foot up to $15 a square foot. So to add 50 cents to make sure your frame lasts as long as the decking does is a pretty small investment. So
correct.
That's why everybody's getting into it.
That's the mainstream.
And the warranties for these manufacturers are increasing all the time. So now we've got warranties that now 25 is the minimum. It seems 25 years is the minimum. We've got a couple brands of PVC going to 50 years. Yeah. So the wood won't last that long. So help it. Yeah. Last that long. Final one. Oh, this one, I'm going to try to not be too inflammatory here, but
it's a thing. It's a legit thing. It's got to be talked about.
This year, for those on the contractor side or installer side or customer side, maybe don't know exactly how the industry works from a purchasing or from a logistics perspective, on the retail and distribution side. But generally how things work is every winter, distributors or manufacturers come to the retailers and say, hey, what are you going to order next year? Let us know what you're going to order for product, and we'll give you a better price to incentivize you to do that so that we know how much product to order. So distributor distributor A somewhere is we've got to do all our buying for the year here from the manufacturer. How much should we buy? Well, why don't we just ask the people who are going to end up buying it from us and get them to commit to a certain volume so we can more accurately order ourselves. And so to get people to want to buy in the middle of winter, because otherwise you would not want to. Yeah. They give you a discount. It's like an early buy discount of some sort. And it's usually somewhere between 5% is common, upwards of 10% at best, usually on lower ticket items. But on decking, it tends to be 5 to 7%. Yep. Seem accurate?
Pretty standard.
So book a truck and you'll get this 5 to 7% off, or you'll get some sort of rebate back, whatever. So you do that. and then you start your season. All this stuff ships in March or whatever it comes, February to March, somewhere in there.
Or July.
Or July, depending on the brand.
Whoever your distributor is.
Yeah.
Or your manufacturer.
And so then, usually at that time, you also know what your in-season rebuy price is going to be. So when you run out of your early buy product, you need to buy more, but you're not going to get it at the same price as the early buy because that was kind of a one-time sale.
Yeah.
So here's your in-season price. And normally you know that ahead of time. Normally you know like, oh, I'm saving 7%, great. Sometimes you don't, but because in-season pricing doesn't come till a little bit later, but you generally expect it to be about a 5 to 7% increase because that's kind of the industry standard.
Correct. And I would say that until this year, we knew those numbers. We had our rebuy. The price page comes and it says early buy price, rebuy price.
Yeah,
those
you're getting 7% off this number.
Yeah. And so that's okay. So we
the-
roll the dice and pick some colors, and sometimes we make 5%, sometimes we sit on it for 2.5 years, and then you didn't make anything really. So.
And so for the retailer side, to set your pricing on a product every year, you need to know what you're buying it for. Weird, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And because the more stable number is the in-season number, I think most people set their pricing based off the in-season number, or at least they need to have some idea of what that in-season number is going to be to make sure that if they set it off the early buy number, that they're not going to screw themselves when the stuff goes up. But because we didn't get pricing from TimberTech on in-season pricing right away, we made the assumption that it wouldn't be much more than that 5 or 7% increase. That's pretty standard.
So we did that.
So we set some pricing.
So we bumped it up.
Based on early buy.
Yep.
Based on new edge pricing, like the new edge line, based on all those pricing.
Silly Shane.
Set our price because there's nothing else to go on. In-season pricing rolls in around what? It wasn't until like April?
It was, March, April. It was end of March, early April that we finally saw a number.
So pretty late.
Our price pages were out. We'd already sent them off to our contractors.
Yeah.
Welcome to the decking season. Here's our lumber. Here's
Correct.
our railing. Here's all of our decking.
Yeah.
These are our prices.
Use these numbers to quote your jobs this year. New pricing comes in. I'll be honest, I didn't look at it immediately. It took me a couple weeks to look at it real close because I just didn't expect what I was about to find out.
Yep.
So it wasn't a super urgent thing. Decide to go look at it at some point and notice that like, hold on here, this seems to be jumping quite a bit on this one board. Like this can't be right. We're selling it for this and the price is like...
It was the fascia for TimberTech Edge.
Well, that was a shocker because
that was the one that caught you.
Well, that was a mistake.
Right, but whatever it was, that was the
something
one that
caught my
me.
attention that the price was off a little bit. So I get looking into this thing and this price sheet a little bit more, and it's like, holy smokes! Like the prices we have set based on the early buy price and the assumed 5% or to 7% increase for in-season price, we're not good at these prices. Like we're not making money selling TimberTech at these prices. We're gonna have to raise our prices. So and this is uncommon too, to raise a composite or like a PVC deck board price in the middle of a season. Usually the prices are set at the start of the year and they're good all year.
Yeah.
Get diving into it, and the price increases are disgusting.
But yep.
Yes, they're disgusting. Some of them were just marginally gag worthy. Like TimberTech Edge went up a bit and it was like, oh, that's like quite a bit, but it's still competitive, I guess, compared to competing products from Fibron and Trex. But some of them were grotesque and not competitive whatsoever anymore. I think our average, we saw they went up like something like 18% on the low end and like it was like 35% on the high end. What?
35% is a big increase.
So you have
just a big number.
It was just crazy. And so right away we're sending emails to the distributor and the manufacturer, be like, is this right, you guys? This can't be right. Like,
look, you have the decimal in the wrong place.
Yeah, like this didn't actually go up this much, did it? Or can you check your price list? Yeah, no, they're correct. Are you kidding me?
Can you phone somebody else and check their price list that gives you the pricing and then call me back?
Yeah, no, it seems pretty good. Okay, well, you know what? I am telling you that not only have you haven't really hurt us because we carry 7 brands, but you only hurt yourself here, but you're just not competitive.
It's not true that it doesn't hurt us. We have that product sitting in the yard.
True, yeah, it does hurt us a bit, but not as much. Like if you were a dealer that stocked only TimberTech,
right?
Oh, I'd be some sort of pissed.
Yep.
To me, it was eye-opening and it was shocking, and I wasn't mad about it. It was just like, what are you guys doing? Because I have other options
it's like
to
your
sell.
Classic mom move. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
That's 100% it. So we kind of went to, and we kind of asked around to some other lumberyards in the areas that we are familiar with, like in Alberta and whatnot. We're like, hey, did you guys get this big price list? Yes, we did. And we're not like, it's ridiculous. We're not too crazy about it. I was like, yeah, us neither. Like they're claiming they don't know what we're talking about, but like every other lumberyard we talk to is going like, what the hell is going on here? So anyways, we put together a spreadsheet to say like, listen, you guys, it's not just us complaining, because our distributors are saying like, well, what's your margin? Maybe you have your margin set too high. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Like,
you pick your margins. I'll pick my margins.
Exactly. And no, I don't. I have the same margin on you as I do on your competitors, and your board is way more expensive. That's what I'm telling you. And I'm not willing to make less on your board than the other guys, or else, like, why would I sell yours then? There's no incentive for me to sell yours if I make less on it.
Yep.
So anyways, we sent off the spreadsheet to say like, heads up, here's the average competitor's price at competing levels. So like at the entry level, at the mid level, at the mid high, at the high, and here's where you're at. And you're not even close. And here's how much you went up over your early buy. And that's not normal. And so that's gone through the chains. I don't know how far that's gone now, how deep it's gone. Fairly deep, I feel. Like the president of our one distributor has asked for that information. I know that it's in the hands of the Canadian director. I don't know how far beyond that's gone, but like we've checked with another Canadian distributor on their pricing to make sure it wasn't a distribution margin greed or something that was happening. And nope, theirs are like right in line too. So like it seems like it came from AZEK, the price jump.
It's a big number. So again, to Shane's point, this doesn't hurt. It's not that it doesn't hurt us, but it ultimately doesn't hurt us. We had a customer that was pricing out some AZEK cypress. The customer loves that color. They didn't want wolf teakwood because it was just like, the color just wasn't right. It didn't work, right? And so we do an estimate for wolf. They're like, meh. We do an estimate for cypress. And the customer
they had decided already, right? They said they had cypress. We did the quote for wolf, and they're like, sounds good.
Yep.
They get the board. They look at it like, a little bit too rosy. We prefer the cypress. It's the colors, like they're very similar colors.
So similar.
But the cypress is just a little bit better for them.
Better
they're
tone.
like, okay, they were already good. They were sold at the price of what TimberTech AZEK was last year and what wolf still is. Yep. They were good with that price.
Yep. We'll take the AZEK. So we send a revised quote with the new pricing, and now they're installing a board that they don't like as much.
Yeah. And
because they don't want to. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
Because it's quite a bit more.
I think in our store, I want to say that it is a full $1.30 a lineal foot more.
It is $1.40 a linear foot more. So that's a little over $3 a square foot more for let's be honest, like AZEK's the bigger name. It's the same product essentially. Like between Wolf PVC and AZEK PVC, it's like
they're all gonna like the Wolf guy's gonna stand here and be like, my ASA cap is better, and the AZEK guy's gonna be like, my plastic's better, blah blah, whatever. They're both PVCs.
They both have 50-year warranties.
The board's a board.
Like they're both really good boards.
Yep.
But so how do you justify being that much? How do you
$3 a square foot more?
And I don't remember how much.
You don't. It sounds like
how big their deck was. It looks like maybe about 300 square feet. So it's $1,000 more for that board or the other one for. Anyway, it's already happened, and we've already had contractors. This one in particular. That, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to sue anybody, but this guy in particular that's on that job is like, what's that about? Why is it so much more? Well, I mean, you tell him the story. It's like, well, the prices went up at AZEK this year. He's like, well, I'm not even going to carry TimberTech samples around with me anymore because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the message went, maybe I should just take those samples out of my toolbox. Yeah. Because I don't know that I can sell that.
Exactly. And so again, doesn't hurt us. We're going to sell them something different, but like.
Some of it hurt because we had a customer, because we sent our price list this spring, and then we had a contractor sell a job based off that price list. We gave him the new quote, and he was like, whoa, guys, you gave me a price list that said you were selling the silver maple for this. I was like, shit.
Yeah, and we honored it. So we're not gonna hang a contractor to dry. It's not his fault. So like we honored the old price, but then that does hurt us because now we're only making a couple points of it versus what we should be making off a board.
Yep.
So it's just kind of not an ideal situation for anybody. They're gonna have to do something about it. I don't know if this is a widespread thing all over the place or if it's just Western Canada or what happened, but I know for like, they can't say it's just us because we've talked to at least 4 or 5 other lumberyards that have all said the same thing. They're like, the pricing's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that was all about. Like, had we known. Anyway, so that's the news from TimberTech. Not ideal. And like, it's just, I don't know what the idea was. I don't know what changed to justify the increase, but it's just shot
Maybe
a wave.
it was the Super Bowl ad they had to pay for.
Maybe. It's shot a wave of like lack of confidence through the industry now, because I know that we used to sell quite a bit of TimberTech. Like Silver Maple was our number 1 selling board for 3 years straight. It's dropped off significantly this year. It's not even in the top. I don't know if it's top 10. I know it's not top 5. So like it's dropped off a ton to the point that our distributor's calling and be like, you guys aren't ordering as much. What's going on? What do you mean? What's going on? Look at the email I sent you 2 months ago. Yeah. That's what's going on. You're not competitive. We told you this. Yeah. So,
it's too bad because I like the board. I like the guys.
I love the company. The people at TimberTech are awesome.
Yep.
And like, I like the branding they do. I like that they're like head to head with Trex. It's good that there's 2 big dogs out there. Yep. But you've just made yourself, at least in our market, and I know for sure a couple of the provinces that we've talked to, you're just not competitive now.
It's harder to sell. That's for sure. So.
Anyway, that's what that is. Any other things you want to add in here for just, poops and giggles?
I think you can say the other one, like I did once.
Yeah, I'm trying to clean up my language. I've got more kids now.
Yeah, and they listen to you? Yeah,
debatable.
Just have more.
Debatable, yeah. I don't know. I don't know that it matters if we swear in here or not. They're not listening. They don't care about what I do at work. You guys, if you're not following us on Instagram already, please do, at The Ultimate Deck Shop. If you're not following us on YouTube yet, go subscribe there. Subscribe to this podcast. And we have some special guests lined up next week. I'm excited about it. So make sure you do.
It's going to be so good.
Subscribe to the podcast. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.